Good morning, students. I am Rakesh Kumar, and this is the science class. Today, I am going to revise the chapter 16, that is electric current and its chemical effect. In this chapter, we have to search the conduction of electric current through the liquid and the effects produced by the electric current in the liquid. Now, for this, we have to at first show that electric current pass through the liquid or not. If the electric current pass through the liquid, then we say this is the conductive. Now, for this, we have to memorize our previous knowledge, that is in the class 7th, which is known as continuity tester. In this is a continuity tester. If we place any object between these two dots, then if the object placed between these two dots allow the current to pass through it, then the bulb glows, otherwise bulb doesn't glow. In the same way, we do this continuity test with the help of a liquid. In this figure, we are placing any objects, metallic or non-metallic objects, between these two dots, means between these two fringes. But if we have to test the conductivity of a liquid, then we have to immerse these two fringes inside a liquid. If we place any liquid and for that liquid the bulb glows, then we say that liquid is conductor of electricity or conduct the electricity. You can do various activity with the taking various liquids, say lime juice, tap water, distilled water, orange juice, tomato juice, etc. For some liquids, the bulb glow, and for some liquid the bulb doesn't glow. Then the liquid for which the bulb glows is known as conductor of electricity, or we can say that liquid conduct the electricity. For example, if we take the lime juice, then in that situation bulb glows. Hence we can say that lime juice is a conductor of electricity. Now, if we replace the liquid by distilled water, then the bulb doesn't glow. It means the distilled water is not conduct the electricity. Okay. Now, what is the cause of conductivity of liquid? In distilled water, there is no free movable ion which conduct the electricity. But if we dissolve some salt in the distilled water, then in that situation the bulb start glowing. It means the salt dissolves in the distilled water, means which we dissolve in distilled water, make the water conductive. So we can say that the presence of a free movable ion in the liquid is the cause of conductivity. The liquid in which the number of free movable ion are more, then that liquid is more conductive, while if the number of free movable ion in the liquid present are less, then that is less conductive, means poor conductive. In the case whenever there are no free movable ion are present in a given liquid, then that liquid is a bad conductor for the electricity, or we can say that that liquid doesn't conduct the electricity. For example, in distilled water there is no free movable ion, so uh, distilled water is bad conductor of electricity. Now, if we consider this figure, in this figure, if we pass the electricity through a liquid and that liquid is break down into the form of movable ion, then that liquid is known as electrolyte. Here we are considering this figure for the next topic, means electrolyte. So let us come back on the electrolyte, but for that see the figure of page 284. Now, electrolyte is a compound which break down into the form of ion in aqueous form or molten form whenever electric current is passes through it. It means the liquid which or the compound in the molten or aqueous state which conduct the electricity and break down into the form of ion is known as electrolyte. Means electrolyte is the compound which break down into the form of ion in molten or aqueous state whenever electric current passes through it. So I think electrolyte is clear. Now we observe from the experiments that for some liquid, means for some compounds in aqueous solution or in molten form, when we pass the electricity, then that compound or that liquid completely ionized, means completely break down into the form of ions, while there may be some liquids or some compound in molten state which do not completely break down, but they partially break down into the form of ions. So electrolytes are of two types. One, the electrolyte which completely break down into the form of ions when we pass the electricity through it is known as a strong electrolyte, while on the other hand the electrolyte which not completely break down but it partially break down into the form of ion whenever we pass the electricity through it, then that is known as weak electrolyte. Now here in your book on page number 286, list of some strong and weak electrolytes are given. I am reading. Strong electrolytes: sea water, nitric acid, copper sulfate solution, sodium chloride, sulfuric acid. Weak electrolyte: ordinary tap water, oxalic acid, carbonic acid, ammonium hydroxide and citric acid. So must remember these names, because from this section a question of 1 marks may be asked that suppose I am giving oxalic acid and state whether the oxalic acid is weak electrolyte or a strong electrolyte. So you have to decide. Now here in sulfuric acid there is a star mark. A star mark means we have to take care sulfuric acid, while making the sulfuric acid dilute, never add the water in the sulfuric acid, but at the place of that add the sulfuric acid slowly in water and stir them. Why? Because sulfuric acid reacts with water and it releases a large amount of heat. It means reaction between the sulfuric acid and water is an exothermic reaction which releases the heat. So we must have to take the care of it. Okay. Now, conversion of chemical energy into electrical energy. In the first example, we see that we introduce here the battery and pass the electric current through this liquid, then bulb glows. Now, we do not introduce the cell, but we introduce some liquid, two electrodes and a bulb. Whenever we arrange this, then the bulb glows without installing the battery or cell in the circuit. This suggests that by the chemical reaction between the electrodes and the compound, means electrolyte, electric current is generated. By this, we are able to convert the chemical energy into electrical energy. Here, zinc rod and copper rod are two electrodes. The rod connected with positive terminal of the battery is known as anode, while the rod or a strip connected with the negative terminal of the battery is known as cathode. So, whenever we immerse the two electrodes, cathode and anode, into a liquid and we join the two electrodes with the help of a bulb, then we get that, or then we obtain that the bulb glows. It means electricity is generated with the help of these two electrodes and the liquid. It means these two electrodes and the liquid combining together behaves like a cell. This cell is known as voltaic cell. So, by this arrangement, we are able to convert the chemical energy into electrical energy. Okay. Now, chemical effect of electric current. Chemical effect of electric current is performed by the Michael Faraday in this. Whenever Faraday arranged this setup, then he found that there may be some change in the electrolyte whenever we pass the electric current. So, by giving the electricity or by providing the electricity into a electrolyte, if we are able to get some chemical change, then that is known as chemical effect of electric current. I am repeating again. If we provide the electric current and we get some chemical change, then this is known as chemical effect of electric current. Now, chemical change of electric current depends upon the following two factors. Here questions may be asked that on which factor, or write the factors on which the chemical effect of electric current depend. So, we write the chemical effect of electric current depends upon the following two factors. First, nature of the electrode, and second, nature and concentration of the solution. Nature of electrode means electrode is of good conductor type or bad conductor type. If our electrodes are of good conductor, then we get the more chemical effect, and if our electrodes are of bad conductor type, then means bad conductor means poor conductor type, then we get the less effect. Now second, nature and concentration of the solution. Now here question may be asked for 2 marks or 3 marks. So whenever the question is asked as for 2 marks, then we write the chemical effect of electric current depends upon the following 2 factors. First, nature of the electrodes, and second, nature and concentration of the solution. But whenever question is asked for 3 marks, then we write the chemical effect of electric current depends upon the following 3 factors. First, nature of the electrodes. Now explain this in one sentence. Second, nature of the solution means solution is of a strong electrolyte type or weak electrolyte type. Whenever solution is a strong electrolyte, then we get more chemical effect, while the solution is of weak electrolyte, then we get less chemical effect. And third one, the concentration of solution. Concentration of the solution, whenever concentration of the solution is more, then we get the more chemical effect, and whenever the concentration of solution is less, then we get the less chemical effect of electric current. Now some another facts is here. If we are doing the experiment to judge or determine the chemical effect of electric current, then here question may be asked that write or discuss some prominent effect of electric current, chemical effect of electric current, means which are the possible outcomes of the chemical effect of electric current. Now the possible outcomes is, first, metal may get deposited at the electrode surface, means whenever we do the chemical effect of electric current, then the metal may get deposited on the electrode. Second, gaseous bubble may form near the electrodes. And third, change of color of solution may occur due to dissolution of the different ions. Now, if we are performing a chemical effect of electric current, then out of these 3, it is not necessary that all the 3 happens. So here written, metal may get deposited, gaseous bubble may get formed, and change of color may takes place. It is not necessary that all the 3 happens. It may be possible that 2 are happens or all the 3 are happens. So here make yourself clear, may word means it may be possible. Now applications of chemical effect of electric current. Applications of chemical effect of electric current means what are the use of chemical effect of electric current in our life. First is extraction of metal from their ore. You know that in chemistry section, for getting the metal from their ore, we have to do the concentration of ore, oxidation of ore, reduction of ore, and finally the purification of ore. Now, but there are some metals which can be directly extracted from their ore with the help of chemical effect of electric current. Now, these metals are aluminum, sodium, potassium, and calcium. Here, question may be asked that, for example, say 4 or 5 metals are given like sodium, copper, iron and mercury. Now you have to pick out the metal which is extracted by the chemical effect of electric current. So you have to search which metal come from this list. Okay. Now second is electro refining of metal. When we are extracting the metal from their ore by the traditional method, then in that method we extract the metal from their ore, but that metal is not a pure metal. So in order to purify the metal, we follow the process of chemical effect of electric current. In this method, we place the impure metal at the anode and pure metal or graphite rod at cathode and place the solution of that metal which we have to be purified as electrolyte. For example, if we have to purify the copper metal, then means electro-refining of copper, then we place the impure copper at anode, pure copper at cathode, or we can place the graphite rod at cathode and use the solution means electrolyte as copper sulfate solution. When we pass the electric current, then impure copper melted into the solution and the copper from solution start depositing on the cathode. In this way we get the pure copper. Now third one is, which is very important, electroplating. Now electroplating is the process of depositing a thin layer of any desired metal on another material by the passage of electric current, means by the use of electric current. So here questions may be asked that what do you mean by electroplating? So electroplating is the process of depositing a thin layer of desired metal on a given metal with the help of electricity. Now for the electroplating or process of electroplating, some suitable conditions are required, which are: the article to be electroplated should be made of cathode of an electrolytic cell. Means the article on which we have to do the electroplating is placed at cathode and the anode is made of the pure metal which is to be coated on the article. Means the metal of which electroplating is done, means the coating of which metal we have to done is placed at anode and a suitable soluble salt of metal of anode may be taken as electrolyte. So in this way today we have revised the chemical effect of electric current up to a limit. In the next class we will revise the application of or practical application or needs of the chemical effect of electric current. Now up to the topic taught today or revised today, not taught today, because we have learned the chapter some times ago. Today I am revising the chapter. So if you have any problem, then ask me. Otherwise be ready for the next class. As like homework is concerned, you have to revise the chapter again and again and prepare some questions to ask from me in the next class. Okay, so I am ending the video for today's. Now if you have any problem, then ask the question from me.